Hello people of YouTube, it is time for advice. The gameplay is a new gameplay that I've never done yet, is of Watch Dogs, and Watch Dogs, I'm just crazy on Watch Dogs. I'll drive crazy, I shoot random people, and I just, I'm not really doing anything specific on it, it's just a gameplay, so... yeah, I might do a random video on it, I don't know, but that'll wait till later. Okay, so here's advice, send me your advice questions, let's go. Help me please, I really wish sometimes that I had better friends. Not that my friends aren't wonderful, it's just I guess that they're too busy with what's going on in their lives to care about what's going on in mine. I really feel like I'm the person that's there for everyone, and in the end, no one is there for me. Lately, I've been having a lot of feelings of anxiety and suicide and depression. I'm not trying to look for attention, I just don't know how to handle everything that I'm feeling. I guess being 15 is a hard age no matter who you are or where you live, and that I will eventually get through it, but at the time, it's a lot easier said than done. Throughout my life, I've had many problems with my dad. I always felt like he didn't love me, partly because I guess, didn't know how to handle his own problems and turned to alcohol to comfort him. And also because he never knew how to be a father. I feel like everything time I'm around my dad, he suddenly blow up on me, yelling and screaming at me for things I can't control like he always does. It makes it hard because I feel like I have to be perfect all the time, and if I'm not, my life will become a living hell at the fault of someone that I'm supposed to love and care for me. My mom knows my dad is an alcoholic, but she depends on him for so much and she could never leave him. This causes my brother and I to be stuck in an abusive home that we can never really feel safe in. A lot of times, when my parents are yelling and fighting, I get really worried because I'm scared my dad is hurting my mom. Luckily, he never has, but that always acts like she's... What? I'm sorry, I was just repositioning myself and I lost where I was reading. Luckily, he never has, but that doesn't stop me from being paranoid. Every time they get in a big fight, my mom always acts like she's going to do something about it and stand up for herself, but in the end, she never does. I've gotten used to this cycle. I guess, other than my dad, my life was alright until 7th grade. I got bullied very badly and had to leave the school. I really wanted to kill myself because I thought nothing could ever get better, but I was lucky because things got a lot better in 8th grade in regards to friends. I met a lot of new people my 8th grade year, and for that I am very grateful. But coming from a sheltered private school and being thrown into a giant public school, I didn't know how to handle myself. I got faced with a lot of pressures such as drugs and alcohol, and eventually I got into doing these types of things. I kept my grades at all A's and put off a front that everything was perfect in my life and that I would never touch drugs, but really inside I felt like I was falling apart again. I couldn't handle my problems, and every time I was upset, I turned to drugs to make me forget about everything. My parents never knew what was going on. They were too busy with their own lives or to care or even notice what was going on in mine. I had never really known what it was like for a boy like me in 8th grade. That changed. Wait, what? I read that wrong. I had never really known what it was like for a boy to like me in 8th grade. That changed. Boys started talking to me and it finally made me feel pretty. I was too wrapped up in the fact that someone cared about me and I didn't see what I was becoming. I didn't know how to say no to boys, and I got pressured into doing things I wasn't comfortable with or ready for. Ever since 6th grade, I had really liked boys named Josh. I never thought he would have feelings for me because my self-esteem wasn't and still isn't very high, and I never thought I would deserve a guy like him. But nevertheless, I still spent a lot of time with him. I introduced him to my friend Lexi and told her how I felt about him. She promised she would never do anything with him, and I trust her so much because I truly thought she was the person I could tell everything to, and that she truly cared about me. Ooh, she gonna break your heart. I later found out that she had sex with him behind my back. See, I was right. That absolutely broke my heart. Okay, I need to be serious for this. I didn't know what to do and turned to cutting. Well, don't do that. I thought maybe he didn't like me because I was fat or too tall for him. I started making myself throw up. I tried to distance myself from Lexi, but in the end, I really thought she was sorry and let her back into my life. Little by little, we became very close again. Last night, Lexi and I were together. What? Oh, Tony decided to come over and we all started to drink. We didn't have very much, but within about 30 minutes, Tony and Lexi started to hook up. I was sitting right next to them. They started having sex in the same bed I was trying to sleep in, right next to me. Whew. I could not believe this was happening. She had promised me she would never do anything like that ever again, and she did, right in front of me. I started crying and walked out of the room to sleep on the couch. The next morning, Lexi pretended like she had no idea what happened and that she would never do anything like that, but I knew different. I left her house. When I got home, I just started to cry. I feel broken and shattered, and I don't know what to do. I feel like no one would care if I died. I know I wouldn't kill myself. A lot of times I wish I was never born. Thank you for listening to me. It means a lot. Okay, I'll go to my normal saying. Things get better over time. You just don't need to be hanging out with people like that. I mean, if she's gonna have sex right in front of you, even if she is drunk, she shouldn't be doing that. So, no, you don't do that. And, like, when I know that I can't be friends with someone, I don't turn back to that person. Like, here's an example. There was this guy I used to be friends with, and, I got mad at him. I don't know if it was... I think it was the right thing to do, and from what other people are telling me, it was the right thing to do, knowing, what our friendship was like, and I just told him to go away, and I just started to ignore him, and he started to drift off, and even though my other friends still talk to him and stuff, I will, like, tolerate him, but I wouldn't say, hey, you want to come over? No, I'm not. But anyway, like, you shouldn't be friends with people like that. Like, if you should just let them out of your life. I mean, you need new friends. I mean, you have to be that desperate person that needs new friends. Like, it's to the point because you don't know how to make friends. It's to the point where you just gotta find who you think is good and just go like that. So yeah, that's my advice. It was really good. I thought that this advice was probably the best advice I ever gave, but since this one was long, I'll just do one more. Okay, here we go. Help me decide whether or not to get a dog. That sounded like a commercial. Like, I am at a really convoluted, I don't know what that word is, convoluted crossroads in my life. In my life, not in my life. I am young, in college, and living in an apartment with two others. I have recently been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I am taking the summer to sort through my medications and find out what works for me. I want to be more stable and well-functional by the time school starts again in the fall. I have a boyfriend of 6 months, but we are on the verge of breaking up because I have recently begun questioning my sexuality. I think I am more interested in girls than in boys, but this notion is still daunting and confusing and frankly terrifying. I wish I could avoid the whole thing. I am completely in love with him and he is my best friend. It is breaking my heart to think that we might have to split because of pure biology. Now I have little commitments for summer and a flexible schedule in the upcoming fall. Oh. I know that I will inevitably struggle with new experiences and feelings in these months, both in regards to meds and sexuality. For some time now, I have wanted to get a dog. I am ridiculously responsible and have raised 3 puppies with my family. I realize that I am young and that this is a huge task, but I want this. My doctor wonders if this urge is simply a byproduct of a manic. What's a manic? I don't know what a manic is. Of a manic episode, I do not believe so. I know this may sound preposterous, you're using a lot of big words in this, but I think a dog will be incredibly beneficial for me. I want something to take care of. I want an urgent reason to get out of the bed in the mornings to fabricate some sort of structure to my days. I want an unconditional friendship and love. I want something silly that will bring me joy, even though it will certainly be hell at times. I want a reason to be forced outside, to be proactive and somewhat energetic. Mostly, I want an outlet from my own head. I am exhausted here. So, to get a puppy or not? My intuition says yes, but I'm starting to wonder if my intuition is in fact flawed. Ba ba ba. Okay, so, I say that you can go with your gut feeling, but if I were you, I would see which bipolar medication works for me best, and then go get the puppy. And I don't know why you were talking about your sexuality, because that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. Okay, so, send me more advice questions for next time. Bye-bye.